but you can do a general offer first, right? Then you can go into detail. Okay. Is this an offer? Well, what has changed from the paint shop to the bikini shop? The variety of, I don't think you carry out more than 1,000 different type of paints, right? If you all carry your own brand, you have probably like 20, 30. But in this scenario, Barry carries over 1,000 different types of bikinis. And your order is not specific enough. Okay? It's too vague. It's ambiguous to which type of bikini that you're going to buy. So we might argue that it is not an offer. The answer is maybe. Okay? If for the past 50 years, you always buy the same type of bikini, but then you say, well, I want 50 pairs more, then you don't even need to specify which type, because you have past dealings.
So it depends on the variety of the product.
Well, one, and two, depending whether there was a prior dealing.
Prior dealing.
Any questions? And that's why you hire a lawyer when you go to court and sign the contract. Did I breach the contract? Did I not breach the contract? Was there a contract at all? There was an offer. Okay. Well, let me I just told you sales contract requires quantity, right? But there is an exception to that. It is called a requirement contract. Okay? So what is a requirement contract? So it is a contract of the sale of the goods. They can state the quantity of the goods to be delivered under the contract in terms of the buyer's requirement or the seller's output. Okay? Was it requirement contract or output contract? So let me give you an example. Chantel, if you're a paint shop, okay? Of course, you manufacture paint yourself. You produce this paint. How many gallons of paint can you produce every year? Give me a number. 10,000? 1,000? Huh? 10,000 gallons? Okay. Well, 10,000 gallons. Then Barry is one of the biggest. Oh, I used you before. Nicole. Sorry. No, for one chance you can be rich. Okay. Nicole is the owner of the biggest general contractor firm in California. Okay? You do a lot of painting jobs. Inside, interior, exterior. Okay, so you use about 20,000 gallons of paint every year. Okay? So what you do is you contract with Chantel because their paint is really good. Quality-wise, it's very, very good. So you say, well, I will buy every gallon that you make every year. Okay? Okay, we have an exclusive agreement. You sell everything that you have every year to me. I'll buy it. Okay? Now, do you specify the quantity? You don't, because you don't know the final production, how many gallons there will be. Okay? So this is an output contract. Okay? I'll buy whatever that you can produce. Okay? So the quantity is not specified. So what about the requirement contract? Okay? So vice versa. Chantel can produce 10,000 gallons of paint every year. Nicole always uses Chantel's paint every year, okay? But in this hypothetical, your firm does not use 20,000 gallons every year. You use roughly around 5,000 gallons a year, okay? That's about half of what Chantel can produce. But do you know exactly how many gallons you need? You probably don't at the beginning of when you form the contract. So the contract says, I will buy as many gallons as I need from Chantel. So this is a requirement contract. That is the amount of gallons that is required for me to finish all the jobs. Okay? And then if you buy paint from someone else, then Chantel can come and sue you for breach of contract. Okay? All right. So if you need 5,000 gallons to finish the job, but you buy 4,000 from her, 1,000 gallons from someone else, then she can come in and sue you. Okay? But what if I change the facts a little bit? If Nicole says, well, Chantel, I'll buy as much paint as I want from you to finish all the job. Now, is this a valid offer?
No.
In the previous example, typo that I showed you is Nicole said, I will buy as much paint as I need to complete the job from you. That's my offer. In this case, Nicole says, I'll buy as much paint as I want to finish the job from you. And is this a valid offer?
No.
Why not?
Because it doesn't guarantee any purchasing.
Okay, so you see the difference? What I want and what I need is different. Okay? Okay. We lost a big chunk of video. A big chunk of video. Anyways, you are cold. Okay. So if I make an offer, does the offer last forever? So when does it end? Or how does it end?
If the seller agrees or disagrees.
So the offer,
The offer.
okay? There's no seller, so there's no buyer yet.
Offer.
It's just an offer and offeree. Okay? So if the offerer says, well, I'm offering to sell you my golden bikini, okay? So when does this offer terminate? Can I say, well, I offer you my bikini. Okay. I offer you the bikini, the golden bikini used by Barry for $500. Okay? Would you want it?
Nope.
What? I know you don't want it, but you didn't get back to me until 6 months later. And then you say, well, I want it now. Is my offer valid until 6 months later?
No.
So when does it end?
It depends on the offer.
Barry?
It depends on the offer, and if the terms of the offer specify a specific one.
Well, it's not specified in this case. Okay, I made an offer, but when does it end? So the first way to terminate an offer is by the lapse of time. Okay? So if it is not specified, maybe more than a month, it terminates. But you're gonna also look into the nature of the offer. Okay? So if I say Barry, okay? Barry sells ice cream, owns an ice cream truck. So I come to you and say, Barry, that ice cream right there, and the last chocolate almond coated cone, Napoleon style, please keep it for me, all right? Just leave it there for me, I'll come back and get it. Okay? Could I come back 2 weeks later and say, Barry, what the hell is my ice cream? Probably not. That offer will probably just be good for that day. Okay? Right, so depending on the nature of the contract, but usually more than a month, it expires. The second way to terminate an offer is by the death of the offerer. All right? But this must occur before the acceptance.
Must occur before what?
Before the acceptance, before the offer is accepted. So I thought, I'm going to sell you.
I think that was like fireworks. Or like,
No, it doesn't sound like it's a modern. But anyways, so Assad is going to buy, and everyone is like, wait now, quit. Okay. Assad is, I offered to sell you, okay, a used golden bikini BlackBerry, and before you say yes, something happened to me and I died. Okay? Before you accept my offer, something happened to me and I died. So by death, you terminate the offer. Now you cannot say, go to my family and say, well, because there's an offer standing, now I want to accept the offer and then buy it again. They can't say that. They can't do that because the offer terminates at the time that I'm dead. Okay? All right? And the third way to terminate an offer is by the words or conduct of the offer. Words or conduct of the offer. So I'll say, well, I'm going to sell it to you. Okay? Barry's used again. And then 5 minutes later, I give you a call and saying, well, you know what? I retrieve my offer. And this itself terminates the offer, right? Okay? Any questions? Okay. Now, who should I pick on? Melissa. Okay. Do you want to sell something?
Sure.
What do you want to sell?
Speedos.
All right, you can sell Speedos to whom?
Who wants Speedos?
Anybody wants to buy Speedos?
Order Speedos in bulk.
Anybody?
Sure.
Sure,
I'll buy 10.
Yeah, by 10. Like super tight there.
I'll just buy 10.
I think it's just by 10.
Okay, go, let's go.
Alright, so Melissa going to sell you, okay, so she offered you, okay, $50 a piece, so $500 on the contract. So the offer is you offered him $50 a piece and 10 Speedos, okay? Before Doc accepts the offer, he said, I'll think about it. And you go home, you cook yourself on dinner, I don't know if you do. Let's assume you do, and then by the time you're eating your own dinner, and you say, I might sell it to Barry for $55 a piece, okay? Well, let me cancel my offer, okay? So what she did is, she sits there, and then she talks to herself, I'm going to cancel the offer. Offer is no longer valid, okay? The next day, Doc comes in, here, $500, give me my Speedos. Now, are you obligated to sell it to him?
Yes, because you didn't communicate her desire to cancel the offer.
That's correct. The words must be delivered to Doc. Your revocation of the offer must be delivered. Okay? If Doc has no knowledge about your cancellation of the offer still stands. Okay? Any questions? Okay. Now, what about this 10 bikinis is the only 10
Speedos.
Speedos, I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
Come on, man.
Okay, that's it.
Line out at the gutter there.
This 10 golden Speedos are the only 10 golden Speedos in California. Okay, that's all you can get, and that's nothing that you can't get it anywhere. It's the only 10 golden Speedos. Of course, you're going to sell it to Doc. You were going to sell to Doc for $50 a piece. Okay? All right? So Doc says, let me think about it. Okay. And then the next day, when Doc go back and try to give you $500, he walked by Barry's bikini shop. And you know what he found out? He found out there are 10 golden Speedos on the display window. Doc talks to himself, oh shit, okay? That's the Speedos I'm gonna get, okay? All right? I better hurry up and go to Melissa and find out what's going on. So what Doc did is, Doc run to your store and say, here, $500, give me the Speedos. Now what?
Wait, you lost me on that story.
Okay, so
So I sold it to Barry.
you were going to sell it to Doc, but instead, you sold it to Barry.
Right,
Doc didn't accept
And
it.
then you found out about it,
but I went back to Melissa, right?
Melissa, yes. But you found out about it because you saw 10 golden Speedos and you noticed the only 10 Speedos out there.
So why would I go back to Melissa?
Well, you thought she breached the contract,
Oh, so
right?
pissed.
And then you thought there's an offer to me, I'm here to accept the offer to form that contract. There's no contract yet. I want that contract to be formed, and then I can sue her for breach of contract, right? So now what?
Yeah.
He can or cannot?
He didn't accept the offer, he said he'll think about it.
Well, and then the next day he was running back to Melissa and saying, well, I am ready, I accept, here's $500.
It's
He
too
didn't
late.
accept at the time. He didn't accept at the time of the offer.
Well, like I said, well, this case, I would say the offer, a reasonable time should be maybe a couple of weeks. Maybe a month.
No, what? She can sell it to anybody she wants.
Yeah,
She can sell it to anybody she wants.
okay. So at the time, she sold it to Barry, this 10 golden unique Speedos. Okay? So in her part, she canceled the offer, right? But did she deliver the offer to you?
But I didn't accept the offer. I said
Yeah.
I'd think about it.
Mhm.
You have the offer and you need the acceptance to make a contract.
But
I
I
didn't
al-
accept.
But I also said.
I said I would come back and think about it.
But I also said the revocation of the offer must be delivered to the offeree. But in
Ah,
this case, she didn't deliver to you. So you
even though-
didn't know until you saw that 10 Speedos on the display window.
Right.
Okay? Now what? Is the offer still valid?
Yes. Still valid. So,
Barry sold it.
Hmm? But you sold it.
yeah, it's still valid.
So, well, the answer is no, it is not valid. Because you did find out the offer was canceled when you saw 10 Speedos on the display window. You did find out. It was delivered to you by the conduct. Okay? But what if you didn't see that 10 Speedos? You go straight to Melissa, here's $500, I accept your offer. And then she's in trouble.
Oh,
She
okay.
never delivered that revocation over to you. You have no knowledge. Okay?
Okay.
Good, got it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, anybody has any idea what is an option contract? Okay. So,
Yeah.
option contract.
What?
Option contract, okay? So let's say this. Let's recycle the eyeball here. 10 Speedos, okay? And then this time, Doc actually specified the time. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. Oh, that's correct, 1%. 10 golden Speedos. Doc says, well, I am really interested. Okay? Why don't you hold on to this 10 Speedos for a week? Okay? I'll get back to you before the end of the seventh day, and I will give you a final decision, whether I accept or I reject. Okay? And then on the 5th day, she sold it to Barry. Is that okay? Can she do that?
No. No.
Okay, well, I heard you, I heard you. What's your name? The girl behind Melinda. What's your name?
Oh, me.
Yeah,
Jessica,
Jessica, so what do you think?
what's the question?
That's fine, let me repeat the question, okay? Let me repeat the question. The question is, Doc says to Melissa, all right, well, for this 10 golden speedos, okay, just hold it for me. Hold it for me for a week, okay? Before the end of the 7th day, I will let you know whether I want it or not. But on the 5th day, Melissa sold it to Mary. Okay? Now, can Doc come back here and here, $500 in the beginnings, and then go after Melissa? Well, I need to know why. Why? Okay? So an option contract is for you to keep the option open for a period of time. Okay? Right? But it needs to accompany by some value. Okay? So when Doc says, Melissa, please keep it open for 7 days. Is Melissa bounded by this promise? No, the answer is no. The answer is no. But if Doc says, here's $5. Take $5 as my deposit and keep the option open for 7 days. And then you sold on the 5th day, and then you are in trouble. Because you paid $5 to have that option open. And then you will violate that option contract.
What if she said, yes, I'll keep it open for 7 days at my offer?
Did you?
What if Melissa said, okay, I'm gonna hold these for you?
Okay. Well, did you give her the $5?
I didn't give her anything, but she said, I will hold it for you.
Okay, then there was just a promise.
What's that?
It's only a promise, and then she can just break the
And I,
promise.
and I can't go to court for
No,
that?
no, you need to give her something for that option.
Couldn't she just give
Yep.
$5 back to, couldn't she just give $5 back?
No, no. What you do is you use that $5 to buy that option time, right? Right.
Was to stop, like a competitor from going into a shop, putting down $100 and saying, I like to think for a week about buying everything in your store, and just shutting them down completely from selling it for an entire week.
You can say no.
But $100 might be a good,
For a
down
week?
payment.
What's the matter with you?
All right, I'll give you $1,000 or something, just enough that they'd still, you lose a large profit if they didn't sell anything, but at the same time, it's abusing the system to prevent them from making any money in the meantime.
Okay, either the people give $1,000 is stupid, or either the shop owner is stupid, either way. But remember, the contract is a contract, okay? If the owner is stupid enough for $1,000 and not to sell anything else, then he's bounded by the contract, okay? Remember, contract is contract. The law in America favors the formation of the contract. It's capitalism. The law protects the contract. But even if the contract is unfair, or you chose to enter into the contract, okay? Even the contract is very unfair, the law doesn't care. Okay?
So you mean to say there's been no successful case if Melissa said, I promise you I'll hold him, you mean out of all the lawsuits, there's no successful case that I can hold her to that?
No, there's an exception. There's one way to do it. We're going to cover that at the end of the class. Okay?
Thank you.
So I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you, but quickly. So the reason for you to get this 10 golden bikini is you're going to have Speedos. I'm sorry, Speedos. All right, Speedos. So it's for you to hire all the guys in this class and put it on the stage and have a good show, and you can make a lot of money. Okay? So you have all these arranged, and then you come back and get a Speedo. It's not there. Then you heavily rely on her promise, and you can sue her for that.
Yes, I am gonna sue her.
Right. Okay. But you have to have you have to show you are negatively impacted.
I am. I don't have mosquitoes.
And you don't have a stage and you can't put up a show and lose a lot of money? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Damage,
Then
damage.
we'll see what kind of damage you can do up. But for sure, the options needs to accompany by some value. So you want the offer to hold up for a period of time, you better pay something for it. Okay? Even saying, well, Doc, I wear the speedo for you, and that could be something of value. Okay? All right. So it's there are three ways to reject, to terminate an offer, right? The lapse of time is too long, it expires. 2, if the offer dies before the acceptance. 3, if the offerer cancels the offer, either by the word or by conduct. Okay? And the 4th, is of course, the offeree can reject the offer.
Does this apply to, say you're selling something on Craigslist and you guys communicate via text and the, say for example, if I'm selling something and the guy says, okay, I'll buy it, just hold it for, does the same rules apply? Or-
Yeah.
You have to promise, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So let me wire you $2, hold it for a week, and then that becomes an option.
Okay, and if he breaches that, you can take from court.
It's just a promise.
Right.
So an exchange has to happen.
Okay. That's what I call the consideration. But here, the 4th way to terminate an offer is by rejection. Okay? By rejection, rejectment, different meanings. Okay? So, the dog, 10 Speedos. Okay? So if you want to sell him 10 golden Speedos for $50 a piece, and Doc says, no way, too expensive. Right? Too expensive. And then Doc left the shop, and I thought about it, and then she came back, and then he came back and said, well, I did have all the stage ready, I did have all the guys ready. I really do need some sort of Speedos. And then he changed his mind. So he went back to your shop and said, well, okay, fine, I'll take your offer. $500? Okay, give me 10 Speedos. And Mel says, oh, no, you came back. Now it's $55 a piece. Okay? Now what? Does she have to sell you at $50 a piece per Speedo?
No.
Well, you said no the loudest. Why?
Well, because that offer was that offer, and once it was accepted or rejected, a new offer could be created.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. So the offer for $50 piece it was rejected and therefore terminated. So when Doc came back to the shop and said, well, fine, I'll get $50 piece, I'll buy it. This becomes what? This becomes a new offer. Now, Melissa, you have the right to whether accept or reject. Okay? And then now when Melissa says, oh, no, you came back, screw you, $55 a piece. So what she did is a counter offer. Okay? What counter offer does is 1, it rejects the offer, and then 2, create a new offer. So what you said is you terminate that $50 piece offer coming from Doc, and then you deliver a new offer, $55 piece to Doc. So that's a counter offer.
Is there a reason that a lot of the time eBay offers are really weak? Like, for example, a lot of eBay buyers can be very flaky and you really can't get anything out of them for it.
That's because you cannot track them down.
Even
Why?
with the username or with the IP address or anything?
Well, what kind of item are they buying?
I don't know, let's say they bid on a laptop or something mid-range expensive.
$300?
Yeah.
So for example, the buyer is at Minnesota, okay? Are you gonna fly over there, fly a lobster over there?
No.
End of story. So what you can do is you can file a complaint with eBay, and they'll investigate. And they can terminate the account, or sometimes you buy insurance. Okay? eBay has an antitrust insurance. Okay. Any questions? Now, let's, okay, well, under common law, let's put it this way. Usually, the offeror has the power to determine how the acceptance is delivered back to the offeror. Okay? So when I make the offer, I'll say, okay, Doc will say, well, see here. Melissa says to Doc, saying, well, 10 golden Speedos, $50 a piece. I know you need to think about it. I'll give you 3 days. Okay, but when you accept my offer, please mail it to me. So this is purchase order form. I'll give you the form. I'll fill out. All you need to do is sign it and mail it back to me. I'll take it as an acceptance. So at the end of the 3rd day, Doc pick up a phone and call Melissa. I accept. Now, is this an acceptance?
No.
It's not. Okay? Because in the offer, it was specified that the acceptance must be mailed back to Melissa. Okay? So, the offerer has the power to do this. Now, what if the return method is not specified in the offer? Now what?
Then any way of accepting it is okay?
Hmm? Any means of?
Yeah.
Well, no, the answer is not. The answer is you have to mirror back how the offer was presented to you. Okay, if offer was mailed to you, then you need to mail the acceptance back. If the offer was emailed to you, then you're going to email it back. If it's an oral offer, then you just call and accept. But this is under common law. UCC is different. Okay. Questions? Now, all right. So now we're done with the offers. Now let's look at the acceptance. So one type of contract is when you exchange the value of the product. I give you money, you give me the goods. Okay? Anyone has a quarter I can borrow?
Yeah.
A coin? Just a coin. Hey, it's a quarter. It's a dirty quarter, by the way. Okay. So what about this is not a sales contract? What about this is a service contract? Okay. Barry, here's 25 cents. Go wash my car. Go wash my car. Okay? So this is my offer, 25 cents for you to wash my car. Okay? Now, when can he accept my offer, or how can he accept my offer?
By taking the quarter.
By taking the quarter? Anything else? Any other guess?
Saying yes.
Saying yes? Well, saying yes is definitely an acceptance. If he doesn't say anything, he takes the quarter and he go wash the car. Do we have an acceptance? When does the acceptance begin? Or when does it occur?
You take the quarter.
When he takes the quarter?
When he starts work.
When he starts to work. It's not when he takes the payment. What if I say, Barry, go wash the car, and then I'll give you 25 cents? right? So it doesn't take the payment until you finish the job. Okay? So the acceptance is when you start to perform the work. Okay? I'm gonna use this a lot. Okay? Any questions? But you know, let's take a 5-minute break now.
Okay, Andrew.
Okay. So, when the offer is made, and then we accept the offer. So usually there are delays in communication. Okay? A delays in communication. So let me give you an example. Okay? October 1st, okay? Offer is being made. The dog is gone, so Mr. Lee can, as also second in line to buy golden speeders, okay? So Melissa offered the speedo. Okay? Alright. October 1st, Melissa offered WE, right? Okay, Mr. Lee, 10 speedos at $50 each. Okay? Alright, so, let's see here. And then the offer required Mr. Lee to mail the acceptance back to you. Okay? So what it does is, on October the 4th, so Melissa mailed it, you got it, all right? So on the 4th, you mail the acceptance back to Melissa. Okay? All right. And this was received so 2 days later by mail. Melissa received the acceptance letter, okay? Good. So what happened here is Melissa on the 2nd changed her mind. And then she mailed out a revocation. Revocation to the offer. Okay? And this was received by Mr. Lee on the 5th. Okay. Do we have a contract?
As long as it's postmarked, that should be the official time in which she told him that she didn't want to go through with it, so I believe the offer was canceled.
So you say right here, because right here, she
Yeah.
mailed the revocation, so the offer was canceled.
Yeah, because it's postmarked on that date, correct?
But it wasn't known to him until. the
Well,
fifth.
he has no idea until the 5th. What do you think? So
We
what?
would need knowledge of
Okay.
the contract being revoked. So
Okay.
there was-
Any other comments? at the first. So
Tricky.
no, so what do you think?
I don't know, to be honest.
Okay. I can tell you, pretty much everything is, all the documents are being effective at the time when it is received. Okay? Except okay? So all the other documents are effective when it is received by the recipient, except the acceptance is effective at the time of dispatch. Okay? Give it the rules. Give it the rules. Now what?
The
Let's
acceptance-
analyze this question.
the-
Okay?
the
The fact that all the other documents are effective when it is received, except the acceptance is effective at the time of dispatch.
So he accepted before he found out.
Yes, and
Okay.
since that's postmarked, then it's the
So
fourth,
who was the offer made?
the first.
Okay, at first, right? When they say, well, Mr. Lee knows about it because they will talk face to face. Okay?
Did he receive and accept on the same day?
No, he accepted right here.
No, when did he receive it? No.
You received it afterwards.
Well, no, he already received it because we talked about it.
Oh.
So they were just, maybe on the phone would be, there's an in-person meeting, okay? So the offer was presented to Mr. Lee.
Okay.
So it's offered dead, okay? Now, when did the acceptance occur? I think this is essentially the issue here. When did the acceptance occur? Is it on the 4th or is it on the 6th?
The fourth.
The
The
4th.
fourth, because it's
Okay.
effective at the time of dispatch, it's
So,
acceptance.
yeah, this is acceptance, accepted right here. Okay. Now, when was the offer terminated?
Second.
It's actually determined
Oh,
the
the
fifth,
fifth.
The
because
fifth.
that's when it was received.
You see? Because all the other documents become effective when it is received. Okay, so this is offer revoked. Okay, now do we have a contract?
Yes.
Yes. There's an offer, there's an acceptance, you cannot later change your mind. Okay? Good.
What was the landmark for this?
So this is what I call the mailbox rule for this.
Mailbox?
Mailbox. So the contract is accepted, the offer is accepted when you put the acceptance into the mailbox. You dispatch it, then you accept the offer.
Is it the same for emails?
Well, emails is almost instantaneous.
Yeah.
But what if,
Well, yes, that's correct. Okay, they will say, well, I didn't open my email box for a week. Well, I'm sorry, as soon as you send the email, it's considered as acceptance. And it's even better, it has a timestamp, and we know it is delivered.
So if the offeree opens his email like once every week,
Mhm.
that means that the offer would be impossible to revoke because he was able to send out his acceptance of the offer before he was able to read the revoked. All right, let's pretend, okay, so the offeree
Mhm.
sends his email out.
Mhm.
I don't want this contract anymore?
Yeah,
Right.
and he doesn't notice the email. Actually, I just realized that he would have seen the email if it was in the box, because I was trying to say that if he didn't check his box.
Well, that becomes unreasonable.
Would it be, can you then, what would the technicality be if you see it in your box or if you open it? Is there some difference in seeing it or if you're actually click through open it?
Then let's look at what's in the subject, right? Because usually what we do is, at least in Microsoft outlook. Now, we're talking about this are interest rules. Well, the contract laws hasn't changed over a period of 200 years. Real estate laws doesn't change in a period of 20 years. But these are old laws. Okay, now you're trying to use the old laws and apply to the new current technology. Then we need to look at the new case laws. Okay, we need to look at the new case laws to see how the cases are decided. Okay, right? So that's why we're always doing research. Any questions? Okay. There's actually another exception to this. Okay, what about on the same day, on the 4th? After Mr. Lee sent out a acceptance, then he changed his mind. Okay. And on the same day, he sent out an email on the rejection. Forget my acceptance. All right, or I reject your offer. And now what? I say, well, all the other documents are effective when it is received, except the acceptance. Now, this is not an acceptance. Hmm? So remember, I told you this is an exception. So what it does is, if at the same time Mr. Lee sends out a rejection, then we just don't think about this anymore. Now, the rejection and the acceptance will be competing each other to see who is received first, or who is being opened by the offeror. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, well, since they both rejected it, does that mean that they're still both binded to the contract, or?
Well, at this time, then we need to see, well, actually, no, we need to do this on that, the revocation. I'll just say, well, now in this scenario, we're just saying, well, Mr. Lee is debating whether to accept or to reject. So he first sent out an acceptance, and then he later sent out a rejection. And then forget about these rules. Now we'll just see who gets there first. Okay, if they arrive on the same day, we have to see which letter was opened first. Okay. All right? And the other thing is, you cannot use mailbox rule for the option contract. Okay? So when I say, okay, Mr. Lee is right there, okay? So Mr. Lee was going to buy that 10 golden speedos, right? So he put out a $5 deposit, okay? Keep the option open for 5 days. What is that? Okay, keep it open for 5 days, all right? $5. So there's some value in exchange, right? So it's an option contract. You have to hold the goods for 5 days. Okay? At the end of the 5th day, Mr. Lee says, all right, I'll get it. So we sent out, mailed out an acceptance, which was not received at on the 7th day. Okay? Now to you, this is over the 5-day period. Right? But to you, you think, well, I mailed it, mailbox rule. I send it within the 5 days. Okay? Now, the rule is you cannot apply mailbox rule on the option contract. The option says 5 days, then the acceptance must be received within 5 days. Okay? You cannot use mailbox rule says, well, I put it in the mailbox on the 4th day. Well, it didn't get delivered until the 6th, well, not my fault. That's not true. Okay? And then there's a general assumption in legal order that anything or everything they put into the mailbox will be delivered. Okay? Lost email does not exist in legal field, in legal world. Okay? They get delayed, but they always get delivered. Okay?
So if they accept it, but it gets lost in the mail for, 50 years, does that mean that the contract is still valid?
Well, then you accept, right? You put it in the mailbox, even though it was never delivered, there's a contract.
But let's assume the place went out of business a long time ago and the product is long sold. What happens then when they finally get that letter?
Don't you need to, won't you call find out what's going on? If you accept the contract.
But remember, what if it's only by that rule, like, as you said, it can only be received one way if it's a certain, it's under common law, but assuming it's under common law and that happens, what would happen in that case?
Well, I mean, the contract wants to be performed by both parties, right? If one is willing, then the other party will say, oh, what's going on? So you probably find out what's going on and just say, well, who will mail it? Okay? Better yet, this is certified mail, saying I mailed it to you.
I'm just gonna throw another wrench in there. Let's assume that one person's afraid to use the phone, like Howard did or something. And it's just based on that entire time it was lost in the mail for that long time, like, that entire period of time, if they did accept it, what happens then?
Okay, so for your sake, saying, well, this guy mailed out the acceptance and lost in mail, okay? And then he has no guts to find out what the hell's, what's going on. And then the offerer didn't even bother to check in, and then 50 years the goods are gone, right? I don't think speedos can last that long. And then now he says, well, I won't have my speedos, and it becomes impossible to perform.
Can they still get
Impossibility.
rewarded? Do they still does he still get more damages or?
Well, that becomes a valid contract, remember? But the thing is, it is impossible or impractical to perform the contract. Then that's a foundation to cancel the contract. Okay. Alrighty. I want you to know there is a statute of fraud that requires certain contract to be written, to be in writing. Okay? In current case, let's say a land transfer, real estate must be in writing. Okay? A contract of sale of goods for more than $500 must be in contract. Okay? Those are the two types of contract under statute of fraud that you will see more often. Okay? The other thing is, if a contract takes more than a year to perform, it needs to be in writing. That reflects usually in a lease agreement. If a lease agreement is 1 year. Okay, if your lease agreement is over 1 year, and then it needs to be in writing.
Is it goods and services over 500 or just goods?
Just goods. Just goods. That's under UCC. Okay? Common law doesn't have that requirement. Okay? So these are just a couple of big things that's covered by statute of fraud. So those contracts needs to be in writing. Okay? All right. Now we talk about offer. We talked about the acceptance and the consideration. Okay. For a contract to be a contract, there is an offer, acceptance, and there must be value, a bargain for value in exchange. Okay? Something has value, it's bargained for. Okay? So, if I said, Barry, go wash my car, and Barry go wash my car, and come back. And then she wants that 25 cents. Okay? Here. Now, do we have a consideration?
No, never offered any.
Right? Never offered anything. Okay? So, here, go wash my car. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. There's nothing in value get exchanged or bargained for in between. Okay? So it's not a contract. Okay. So, on the other hand, if I said, here's 25 cents for you to wash my car, and he says, okay, I'll go wash it, and then come back and ask for 25 cents. So what has been exchanged for in this case?
Washing the car for 25 cents.
Exactly, right? My 25 cents for his labor. Okay? So my consideration is 25 cents, and his consideration is his labor to wash my car. So we have offer acceptance and valid, both valid considerations. Yes.
I was gonna say, so if a boss asks an employee to wash his car, there would be an offer, there'd be,
The boss pays who to whom to wash the car?
the boss pays the employee for the job.
Is it part of the job description? Wash the
It
car?
has to be in the job description, right?
Yeah, better be.
So someone could secretly type in little letters, you know, must wash employee's car whenever, I mean,
Must wash
boss's car whenever washed.
Yeah, well, could be, right? But that would be under an employment contract. You're performing your duties to earn your salary. Okay? Okay. So what about promise? Can the promise be a consideration? Okay. So for example, October 1st, okay? Melissa and I entered into a written agreement, okay? That I promise to buy your house, and you promise to sell me your house, okay? With my payment. And you will transfer the title to me on November 1st, 1 month later. Is there consideration? Is there consideration for my promise to buy? You paint your house orange, you didn't like it, you hated it, so you want to sell it to me? Okay, I promise you I will buy it, you promise me you will sell it. Okay, and we set the date of November 1st. Okay. Is my promise to buy a valid consideration? Yes, because what I did is my promise in exchange of your promise. So we both have a valid consideration, right? Okay. What if I change the term into this way, okay? On October 1st, okay, we entered into a written agreement that I promise to pay to buy your house, Melissa's house. And Melissa agrees to sell me her house unless she doesn't change her mind before November 1st. Now, do we have a consideration, a valid consideration? And let me read the question back to you one more time. Okay, now it reads, okay, I promise to pay to buy Melissa's house. And then Melissa agrees, promises to sell me her house unless she doesn't change her mind before November 1st.
No, it's not guaranteed.
Okay, so I have my consideration, my promise. What about her promises? Her promise is what I call an illusory promise. Okay? Illusory promise basically just means it has no value. You can change your mind anytime before the date of closing. Okay? You can change your mind at any time. Okay? So it is not a valid consideration. Okay? Good? Okay. Good questions. I asked this class before, right? Who has a CPR license? Yes, oh, right, okay. Who wants to be the poor guy? Who passed out? Is it Diane? No. Huh?
I keep going through.
Sure. Sure.
Sure, that's right, of course. Right, of course. I remember too. Right. So Sharon was working on downtown Market Street, okay? And then all of a sudden, she had a seizure. She had a seizure, she passed out, all the white stuff coming out of her mouth. And then Assad, there's a poor lady who's passed out, I better do something. Either a heart attack, I don't know, but I know CPR. Let me go save her. You did, all right? So you saved her, all right? Okay? And then Sharon says, oh, thank you so much, you're a lifesaver. You are a saint. And then Assad says, I'm no saint. You owe me $500 for saving my life. Do we have a contract?
No. There's no agreement.
Do we have, no, let's forget about offer and acceptance, but do we have consideration here? What is Assad has to offer? Your consideration, your skills to save her, right? Which you did offer. And for you, your consideration, if you accept, becomes then $500. But the problem is, your consideration is in the past. Okay? It's a past consideration. A past consideration is not a consideration. It's not bargained for. She never bargained that consideration with you. Okay? So past consideration is not a consideration. Okay? But what about Sharon passed out, okay? Right there, had a seizure, okay? And then Chi right there as Sharon's friend saying, Assad, I know you know CPR, go save her, I give you $500. Now, if you saved Sharon, can you go after Chi for that $500?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me see what else. See here. Who I haven't picked up for a while. Okay. Let's assume Mr. Lee is a very wealthy, rich person. Okay? Has money, a lot of money. He's so rich that he has to hire a bodyguard to go with him. Okay, pretty much anywhere and everywhere. So, who do you want to hire in this class?
I don't know. Maybe.
All right, so that's fine. Mr. Lee hires Barry as his bodyguard. Okay, $10,000 every month. Okay, good.
Not bad.
Happy? Okay, good. And he's rich. He doesn't care. He gives you $100,000. He doesn't care. Okay. They pays you $10,000. Okay. So that day, that night, when Mr. Lee goes to a bar, a club, okay, you as the bodyguard, you went with Mr. Lee to the nightclub. At this nightclub, okay, there's an altercation. Okay? Mr. Lee got into an argument with a bunch of ladies. Okay? That's Sharon, Melissa, Chi, Melinda, Chantel, whatever, okay, in this house, okay? All right. So, but the problem is, group of women are professional wrestlers. Some of them are professional boxers. Well, they just know how to fight, okay? And then by the time Mr. Lee realizes that all these women can really hurt him, he got scared. And then they are coming onto him, and then he says, Barry, save me. Barry, save me. Okay? So what do you think Barry will do?
And what's in my contract?
Well, your contract says you're going to save him, but you're going to protect him no matter what. That's why he pays you $10,000
No
a
matter
month.
what, then yes, I have to protect them.
Hmm?
I have to protect them then.
Well, you're not that saint. You're not that. No, a scumbag like Barry. He said, "Give me $1,000 right now, then I'll save your ass." Okay. All these fighters coming on to Mr. Lee, and you said, "Give me $1,000." All right. Or else I'm not gonna save you. Right? You got scratches all over him. for the nails. All right, now, if Mr. Lee agrees and then you saved it, and later you want to collect the money and he says no, and then of course he's going to say no. But my question is, first, is there valid consideration? So what is Mr. Lee's consideration? $1,000. $1,000. What does Barry has to offer?
Protection.
Protection
Right, for protection. Okay. Consideration. But the problem is this really a bargain for consideration?
It's already been bargained for, and so,
So you have nothing more to offer, right? What
Yeah.
you're offering to protect it is already
offered.
in your contract. Okay? So you have a pre-existing legal duty to perform your job. Right? You have a pre-existing legal duty. And now you cannot use that as a new consideration. Okay? Therefore, you're okay not to pay him. I'm sure the next day you're gonna fire him as well, right? Okay? And in this scenario, the second thing you can do is, you're gonna say, well, I entered into the contract by duress. I was forced into this contract, okay? Any questions? So pre-existing duty, legal duty, is not a valid consideration. All right? Thomas, let's just finish it. Over to my notes. There it is. Okay, so now your first offer is an acceptance. And what if there's no consideration? Do we have a contract?
No.
We don't. We don't. But let's go back to that previous example that we showed you. Okay, you, Melissa, promised to sell 50 golden speedos to Doc. Right? He never put in any deposit. And better yet, Melissa says, okay, I know you have a stage for 10 guys wearing golden speedos for a show. And what I'm going to do is I will donate, I'll give you 10 golden speedos. Okay? So Doug is really happy about it, and he arranged everything, and he rent the venue, he put up the lightings, hire the music crew, and all the equipment. Okay? He spent a lot of money doing this. He spent $15,000 doing this, hoping to get returns by selling tickets. Okay? I don't know how much money he can make by having Barry wearing the Kobe team. But later, Melissa changed her mind. So you called Doc and said, well, I'm sorry, I'm gonna break my promise. Okay? So now what? Can Doc sue you for breach of contract? Was there the first question is, was there a contract? Was there an offer?
It's an offer.
Was it an acceptance?
Yes.
What's your consideration? No, because you are giving it to him. Wants nothing in return. Okay? So a fallback theory of breach of contract is what I call a promissory estoppel. It stops you from breaking the promises. It requires one, there is a promise. Two, there is a reliance. And three, this is for justice. Okay, so in our hypo, was there a promise? Yes, you promised to give him 10 pairs, right? He relied on a promise. He believed you, and that's why he went out and rented all the equipment for $15,000, okay? And he has huge marketing, huge billboard set up, a huge, heavy marketing on newspapers, TV stations, saying we have 10-minute show wearing unique gold Speedo. Pictures all over, okay? All right, so he relied on the promise. And then the enforcement, okay? So this is justice, basically means the injustice can be avoided by the enforcement of the promise. So the enforcement of the promise can avoid injustice. And then there's the three elements for promissory estoppel. Okay? Now, let's change the fact a little bit. Okay? Let's say there's a promise to give Doc 10 pairs of golden Speedo. Okay? So what Doc did, he go out there and rent all the equipment. Okay? But when he advertised this show, he mentions nothing about golden Speedo. Okay? Now, can he come back and sue you for promissory estoppel? Why not? Well, there's no consideration. I mean, promissory estoppel is the fallback of you cannot sue. If you cannot sue under breach of contract, then you try to sue under promissory estoppel. Okay? You have the promise. There's no consideration.
There's no reliance because it doesn't mention golden Speedo anywhere in the advertisement.
No enforcement.
Well, I'm sorry, I should put attention. Well, there is a reliance, right? He had this everything set up because he thought he's gonna have 10 pairs of golden Speedo.
There's no justice.
Hmm? Well, problem here is
Enforcement
the
promise.
detriment is the problem. Okay? So in the previous case, because he commercialized, he put out marketing heavily on that golden Speedos. So if the show doesn't have the golden Speedos, then we can foresee his income by selling tickets will decrease. Right? People come here, buy tickets because they want to see the golden Speedo. If there's no golden Speedos, we can foresee his income will go down. So it's detriment to Doc. But if he doesn't sell, his selling point is not on golden Speedos. Okay? Then we're gonna say, well, you are not. Okay? The break of the promise is not detrimental to you because you can just go out there and buy any other Speedos and you can still have the same show. Okay? So you argue the facts. Okay? Any question? Okay. Yeah.
Just to clarify, so if a zoo wants to donate, white tiger to a show, a circus, and they put out ads for the white tiger on display. And
They
the zoo-
pre-sold
Yeah.
tickets.
And the zoo decide to flake out at the last minute, then they'd be liable, just the same as the example.
Yeah, much better idea than a golden speedo, yeah, but yes. Right. So what they do is they have to refund the tickets. Right? Questions? Maybe I missed. I think we're good. Okay, well, let's see you guys.